Bearable.
Starting on the pole from Coventry, Rhode Island, driving the Island International Industrial Motors Rhode Island Sign Design sponsored entry, it's the number 22 of Paul Payan. And outside of him, driving the number 4, it is Mark Esposito.
The third position will belong to car number 1 from Ashaway, Rhode Island. It's James A. Hearn. And next door to him, occupying car number 32 from Farmington, Connecticut, in the Buckeye Construction, Eagle Insulation. Carvalho Brothers sponsored race car, it's Chris Buckeye.
Starting in the 5th starting position, it's the number 17, that is Jason Palmer from Berlin, Connecticut, in the Manafort Brothers Gray Wolf Construction and Rock Landscape sponsored entry. And going off in position number 6 will be the 03, that is Brian Ouimet.
Dennis Doyon will be in car number 97. He'll be starting 7th in our field as he is from Bristol, Connecticut. And lurking next to him, occupying car number 77, he is Dennis Pantani from Brantford, Connecticut. His sponsorship includes B. Pantani & Son Builders and Brantford Building Suppliers.
On the inside of the 5th row is Farmington, Connecticut's Christina Gobar driving the number 21. She is in the Scott Sweeping sponsored car. And starting in the 10th starting spot will be the 24, that is Brad Caddick.
The 11th starting position will be assigned to car number 31. The driver hails from Southbury, Connecticut, Michael Jervis Jr. And alongside him, in car number 33 from Killingworth, Connecticut, and Long Hill Oil, D-Flag Contractors, and New England Road Incorporated car, it's Donald Flagg.
Going off in position number 13, it is the number 5, that is Carl Bone, and the Mahoney Family Racing Stebbins Stump Removal, sponsored entry from Waterford, Connecticut. And the outside of him is the number 66, that is Art Moran Jr. from Preston, Connecticut.
Hanging out in the 15th starting position will be car number 52 from Lebanon, Connecticut. Buckeye Homes, LLC, Carvalho Brothers Realty, and Eagle Insulation brings us Mark Buckeye. Next door to him, in car number 8, a driver who raced on a part-time basis a year ago, it is Kurt D'Addario Jr. from East Hartford, Connecticut.
And bringing up the final row will be the number 44 of Aaron Drake. He is from Ashaway, Rhode Island, driving the Drake Motorsports car. And the final spot on the field is the number 47, that is Dave Smith. He is from Groton, Connecticut, in the Beacon Marine, Sailing Specialties, and J&J Custo sponsored entry.
So our legend cars bounce out onto the speedway for their 25-lap feature. One of the more interesting colored cars, the number 5 of Marty Bone, who is in his 2nd year of driving. He said that paint scheme is a salute to the 1955 Chevy. So a very colorful paint scheme for that driver. Well, last year he was the oldest rookie in the division, so that makes him now the oldest 2nd-year competitor. Now in car number 25, that is Chris Pritz. Remember, he blew an engine in practice. He thought he was just going to be a spectator today, but the 77 racing team of Dennis Pantani came to the rescue, loaned Chris their backup engine, and he is able to compete today. So if it wasn't for the Pantani team, Chris Pritz would be a spectator, but now he is in the middle of the action. The youngest driver in the field is in car number 03. That's Brian Ouimet, only 15 years old. He was moving up from the go-kart racing, and we'll see what he can do today. He'll be starting in the rear of the field. He was originally assigned the number 6 position, but because of his inexperience, he has elected to go to the rear of the field. So that's our story. Green flag, and here's Dave Barabalt.
Payan and Esposito bringing him down to the start. They will look for the green flag. They get it as they head into turn 1. Esposito gets the early jump on the outside, and following him right around on that outside line is the 32 of Buckeye.
But on the inside, Paul Payan trying to keep up with Buckeye. He is unsuccessful. Jimmy A. Hearn in car number 1 trying to make his presence felt on the bottom groove, but bouncing around up on the top, the 97 of Dennis Doyon. He has become an early factor.
Doyon and Hearn take off after Payan to give him a little bit of action for that 3rd spot. Now Doyon pulls away in the 4th spot, getting on the back bumper of Payan as they come through turns 3 and 4.
Now making a charge on the outside in the green car with orange numbers, that's Brad Caddick doing triple duty today, but he's losing momentum on that outside, and he drifts to about 10th place.
As we head back up to the front now, Buckeye has closed in on the back end of Esposito as they come to the stripe, completing lap number 3. They'll head down into turn 1 with Mark Esposito still leading the way.
Chris Buckeye really came into his own during the second half of the 2005 season. He is trying the outside groove, so Mark Esposito has some companionship as they buzzsaw their way across the stripe.
Esposito and Buckeye have opened up a huge lead on the 3rd and 4th place finishers, as now the 22 of Pion is on the outside of Deon, trying to gain back that 3rd spot he had had for a while. He gets the pass through as they head into turn 3.
Jason Palmer loses a position to Mark Buckeye in car number 52. Meanwhile, it's a two-man extravaganza at the front of the field. Mark Esposito has the lead, but close enough to do chin-ups on his back bumper is Chris Buckeye in car number 32.
And further on back of the field now, Deon has fallen off the pace. The 22 of Pion occupies the 3rd spot. The 1 of Ahern looks to the inside as they come to the stripe. He will look to gain that spot as they head into turn number 1 with the 52 of Mark Buckeye right on his back bumper.
A good muscle move by Ahern, the Rhode Island driver. Has wiggled his way into 3rd, but he has some company. Here is Mark Buckeye in the orange number 52 car, looking for some real estate down low. Now he wanders up high in an effort to bypass Ahern.
Buckeye looks to make that outside line work for him as they go off 2 and head down the backstretch, but Ahern holds it, and then Buckeye gets another run as they go into turns 3 and 4.
And Jason Palmer has become a factor in car number 17. So it's a 3-way race for 3rd place. Also, the 33 of Flag is a contender as he moves into 6th place, 1 notch ahead of the 44 of Aaron Drake. Meanwhile, at the top of the field, the script remains the same. Esposito is leading, but trying to make a move on the outside, the 32 of Buckeye. It looks like the 97 of Doyon has to go to the safety road as he is done for the afternoon. Let's see what Buckeye can do as he's breathing down the tailpipe of Mark Esposito.
Buckeye looks to the inside, now tries the outside as they head into turn number 1. He'll fall back off the pace just a little bit set by Esposito, gains a little bit of a run as they go down the backstretch, and will look one more time to get the pass as they go into 3 and 4.
Now Buckeye studying Esposito, trying to figure out where he can make a move. Mark Esposito, the brother of Vin Esposito, who you'll be seeing later on in the late model division, has about a half a car length cushion. Now here comes Buckeye. Power move as he blurs to the outside.
Buckeye tries to get that outside move to work for him. It does not as they head to this, come down to the stripe. Esposito just holding his line as they go around the track. Buckeye will try one more time on the outside as they come off turn 2.
A battle for 3rd and 4th. On the outside, Jason Palmer looking to make something happen against Jim Ahern. Drake spins, getting a piece of it is Flag. Tires roll on the speedway and the first caution flag comes out. We saw Aaron Drake get loose in turn 3. He spun and he was just clipped by the 33 of Flag, but the contact was severe enough to dislodge him as we get ready for a restart.
Esposito and Buckeye bring them down. This time the start is good as Esposito gets the run as they head into turn number 1. Chris Buckeye right on the outside, Mark Buckeye right behind him, and now the Buckeye brothers side by side battling for the 2nd and 3rd spot as they go into turn 3.
So Mark Esposito finds himself surrounded by orange as they scamper across the stripe. Ahern getting a battle from a loose Jason Palmer as you saw the Palmer kind of do some hiccups down the front straightaway, but he has gotten that car back under control. However, he is under attack by the 77 of Pantani and now the 31 car of Jervis.
Jervis to the outside, the 77 of Pantani to the inside as they go into turn number 1. And now back up at the front, Mark Buckeye has gotten the 2nd spot away from his brother, and he sets out after the back end of Mark Esposito.
Mark Esposito has a battle on his hands, trying to avoid the number 52 of Mark Buckeye. A close battle for 4th and 5th between Ahern in car number 1 and the 17 of Jason Palmer. As the cars whip their way around the 4th turn, Esposito is still leading. He has got 9 laps standing between himself and an opening day victory.
Esposito leads the track, the pack down the backstretch. The 52 of Buckeye now looks to get a little run.
Car goes sideways. It looks like the 77 of Pantani, a little revolving door move on the backstretch, but we stay under green.
as we head into turn number 1. Mark Esposito still leading the way. The 52 of Mark Mackay runs second. The 32 of Chris Mackay third. The 1 of Jim Ahern runs in the 4th spot. And the 17 of Jason Palmer runs 5th.
Marty Bone calls it a day as he takes the number 5 car to the middle of the infield. The heat is on Esposito. Are the Mackay brothers saving something for the closing laps? But we have a yellow out on the track. He gets a pretty good jump, but so does Mark.
And they both head into turn number 1 side by side. Mark Mackay on the outside, Mark Esposito on the inside. Esposito gets a bit of a bite and he'll take the lead as they go down the backstretch, but Mark Mackay slides back into second with his brother running third.
Ahern moving up, Jason Palmer moving up. Car sideways between turns 3 and 4. Also flag goes around, probably oil or some kind of liquid onto the speedway. Kurt D'Addario in car number 8. One of those cars involved in a mishap. So we have another get ready for green flag action.
Mark Esposito has had the answer on every start and restart. Will he this time? It certainly looks like he does as he heads into turn number 1 with the lead. Mark Mackay and Chris Mackay battle for that second spot. It is Mark Mackay in the 52 who gets it as they head into turn number 3.
Ahern closing in on Mark Mackay. It is Palmer running 5th. They whip their way across the stripe. It is still Mark Esposito in front, but here comes Mark Mackay, car number 52, making his presence known as Chris Pritz leaves the racetrack.
Esposito looks in his rearview mirror, sees that mirror full with Mackay's, one to the left, one to the right. Who will try to make that pass as they go into turn number 1 as the Mackay brothers are side by side?
Well, Mark, 3-car pileup and a vicious hit as Jason Palmer came together with the 77 car. Also, the 1 of Ahern is involved.